Well, look who's joining us today, Looney Bin Laden. If you're brand new and watching on YouTube, um, this is Looney Cat. He's the cat who likes to meditate with his friends. And as I look over and I notice there are 12 friends in our Zoom. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is part of a dedicated Zoom class. It's been going on for a few years now, and uh, we're just friends who like to get together at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to meditate. Then I record these little talks that I do and splash them on the internet. But it's a wonderful thing to get together with a dedicated group. And by the way, if you're watching these on YouTube, please like and subscribe because it is my stated goal to spread the love and light. The word yoga means connection, and I think the world could very much use more connection. And I'd like to do what I can toward fostering, facilitating, and accommodating that. So thank you for liking and subscribing. Looney really likes it a lot. Anyway, the topic today is, you ever seen those kids in the park when they blow up they have those things that make the really big soap bubbles? Not the little ones, the big ones that are like 8 feet across. They're as big as a Volkswagen. We've all seen those. They're so big that they actually wobble. They're very unstable, but they kind of float along. You can sort of see them wobbling, and you can see the reflection of the sun in them, little prisms and such. And when I see those, I think of my human ego. I just like to blow myself up as big as I possibly can and then sort of wobble through reality. And the thing about those bubbles is, as big and as grandiose and full of themselves as they are, you get the metaphor? They're very fragile and pop and then pop. Well, what pops? Well, obviously a very thin little membrane. What does that thin little membrane do? It separates the inside from the outside. And that's really what it feels like that ego does to me very often, is it separates me from the world that I could be enjoying a great deal more if I would just get the hell over myself. But that is a lifetime project. And again, I hearken back to the beautiful line from the prayer from the recovery movement: God, please relieve me of the bondage of self. And the bondage of self, this it says in the recovery movement that selfishness, self-centeredness, we think is the cause of our difficulties. And it says a lot of us don't like hearing that, and no wonder. But it's, I'm not selfish. I'm really kind and magnanimous. I'm always looking out for other people. It's, that might be one aspect of it, but for me, what that means is just this painful thought of myself and self-focus and how am I doing and what do I look like and what are people thinking about me and how am I compared to others? And it's just, God, it is so bloody painful. And the prayer says, God, relieve me of this bondage of self. And well, why are we asking God, love source? Why are we asking a power greater than ourselves to relieve us from the bondage of self? Because self can't relieve self. It's this great turning point in the life of every soul when it finally says, God, or whatever name you'd like to give God, relieve me of this painful self-focus and inward attenuation of who I think I am. And well, why do we ask God? Because only a power greater than ourselves can relieve us of the bondage of self. But this opens a gigantic can of spiritual worms. Trust me, because aren't we supposed to be self-affirming, engage in self-care, love ourselves? And man, this is a conundrum. This is an enigma wrapped in an anomaly, in a confusion, in a mystery. Because if we give up ourself, then who's left will be the hole in the donut, right? And uh, I I have more questions about this than I have answers. But the best that I can think of in my own experience is that if I'm referring to my smaller sense of self, the one that's packed into this body, the one that is looking at my cameras when I'm filming and sees my face and is like, oh, Jesus, Jesus, God, I'm going to wear a bag over my face today. Then I'm referring to my small sense of self. And this larger sense of self, this God, this divine self that we all are, is the one that's generally looking outward to see what I can bring, what I can give, rather than what I can get. And that's the best answer I have on this day. But if you're willing to join with me today and say, God, relieve me of the bondage of self. And if you're not, that is totally cool. If the bondage of self, the membrane of your wobbly bubble wandering through life is sufficient for you, that's great. And this is for everybody to choose for themselves. I just know for me, the pain of my big wobbly bubble membrane that separates me from the outside world is something I'm asking God to take away, as painful as that is. Anyway, like and subscribe, because it's not for me, it's for Looney Cat. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. And thanks for helping spread the message of yoga and connection around the world. And we'll see you all tomorrow.